And Drew, segueing into that a little bit, I know we're all pretty excited for next Tuesday's event at Rhino Sports Academy in Shorewood for our preseason ProCase. Should be an awesome event. I know our roster's loaded. We've talked about it quite a bit in the past few weeks. So really, I think we're just going to try and spotlight a couple guys each from that event that we're excited. Maybe like a pick to click, because it really should be a good event, both positionally and on the mound.
No, absolutely. And there's been a couple Indiana guys that have signed up that I know Cooper Trinkle sent our way that thinks need to get looked at by pro scouts. And that event just continues to tick up. So I am really excited. As this podcast rolls out, we'll be less than a week away. Always a great way to just kind of to get the winter started, and it's right before the Super 60 too. So seeing all kinds of really, really legit talented prospects to start the winter is always fun. But yeah, I think us going around and just taking a look at some of our picks to clicks, like we've mentioned a ton of these guys as they register. We've highlighted them on the podcast in the past, but like I want to put my name on some guys. And like coming off the event next week, like being able to look back and be like, yeah, that's the guy I chose. And then hopefully like one of these guys, or maybe a guy we don't mention, just puts on an absolute show and earns an invite to the Super 60. The CJ DeKingas of the world, the Enzo Infelices, the Cal Sefciks. We mentioned it in the past, the Victor Izquierdos. But like, let's see who's going to be the guy that shines above the rest at a star-studded event. That always speaks volumes, and is always really excited to see a guy that puts on a show at that kind of an event. So who do you guys got? I'll let you guys kind of take the reins here.
Yeah, I'll get in here first. I think the way that I went about it, obviously, like from this event, there's a lot of the top kids ranked in that 26 class coming from Illinois, but I went with Caleb Cox, right-handed pitcher out of Springfield Lutheran. He is ranked, but he's not like a top 15 kid. Just a really high upside frame. He's committed to Northern Illinois, and if you look at like his legs, at least at Peoria last year when we last saw him at an event, just very high waisted, and then the fastball is up to 93, and that was this past summer in game down in Georgia. But I just think there's a ton of upside. He's 6'5", 185, and I would not be surprised if he came out here ready to go for this event next Tuesday, and kind of makes that step up into a name to keep an eye on for the draft.
It's an electric arm, Gavin, and like you said it, he's not a top 15 guy. Like maybe he should be, and I think the ProCase, like we'll see where he's at, but he's currently 30th in the state, and that's a guy that easily could be like shooting up our list depending on how it looks, how it continues to polish up and just progress. And the frame, like it reminds me of a young McCade Brown. Right in your neck of the woods there, Gavin, in Bloomington Normal. It was like just super high waist, really, really loose, whippy frame, with all kinds of just muscle and development to come. And, I think if you look at the metrics between McCade and Caleb at this point, like McCade was checking a few more boxes from like a spin rate standpoint on the breaking ball. But that doesn't mean that like Caleb can't develop that. Springfield Lutheran, I'm super excited to see what kind of progress he's made.
Hey, and one more thing with him, just watching back some video, it looks like in the video from the summer in Georgia, like that, the last pitch in that video is a breaker, big swing and miss on it. So I'm actually very curious to see maybe how that's developed since our staff here last saw him in Peoria.
I can go next. I was having a tough time picking who I wanted to take, but I started thinking back to last year's ProCase, and Drew, you kind of mentioned Enzo Infelice. The batting practice round Enzo had last year at that event, it was so hard to ignore. It was so hard to not just be like, okay, like you have to come to Super 60 now. Also, like Enzo obviously has an electric arm behind the dish. That absolutely helps. But like, I'm trying to picture who's going to just put up a massive round of BP next week. And for me, I had to go with Anthony Chavez here, first baseman out of Mount Carmel. He's 6'3", 216, but like down at the Senior Future Games, he's hitting balls out. He was among the event leaders, if I'm not mistaken, in like in-game max EV, like batting practice EV. Like the kid is gonna put up some loud numbers, and he just to me is a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if we look back, at the end of next week and we're like, oh yeah, he ended up getting an invite to the Super 60 off what he did at the ProCase. And like, what's awesome about Anthony is like, he can run too. Like at 6'3", 216, he ran a 6'8'8" at the Senior Future Games this past summer. So as much as I'm excited to see his left-handed bat next week, I might be more excited to see what the kid runs. I want to say he was talking to us down at Senior Future Games, the possibility of him playing outfield for Mount Carmel this spring, which I wouldn't put it past the kid. He's definitely athletic enough in my eyes. So really excited to see Anthony next week. Just a guy I feel like I'm just going to be locked in on what type of numbers he's putting up next week.
Love everything about Anthony Chavez. Like, great kid too. Love to have him in the dugout. And you said, like, he flat tore up the Senior Future Games. Like, it was impossible not to notice him with how every ball he was hitting was hard. And then also just the at-bats he worked. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to the BP, but, like, he almost shows better in-game with how he controls at-bats and recognizes spin and can, time up a lively fastball. So, no, love that call out. It'll be great to have him. And, man, left-handed hitter. So, lot to like there with Chavez.
And also committed to Illinois. I meant to mention that. So also love that, like, hey, if he doesn't get plucked in the draft next year, that type of talent's staying in the state. So love to see that as well.
What you got, Pete? You got a guy?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I got Gavin Michaels from Normal Community, Cincinnati commit. Now, Gavin's another one where, like, I think he shows better in game, but he is tooled up, and I think his tools will show really well. Like, he can really run. He's a 6'5" runner. He's a shortstop, middle of the field type athlete. Like I said, 6'5" runner, 90 across the infield, though I have seen on his X account that he was getting up to triple digits on a pull down, which is pretty nuts. But yeah, I just love that kid in game. But I think he's going to take a loud round of BP as well. He'll get into the low hundreds. But man, that kid is just nowhere near his ceiling. Like, young look. Frame's got a ton to go. I think that kid's best days are ahead of him for sure.
He's a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Love freak athletes that have game ability too.
Mm-hmm.
Versatile. I could see him profiling at like any spot on the diamond that he wanted to.
That's kind of what I was hinting at. Like, he's a middle of the, like, you can put him in center field probably and he'll be fine.
Absolutely. Like, he could be a game changer out there tracking down balls. Well, I love it because we're going 3 out of our 4 picks are going to be Central Illinois prospects here because I'm going Caden Shotzik. I think I've probably spoke on him at lengths in the past because he tore up our Illinois State games for the ProCase team, but he signed up as an outfielder, right-handed pitcher. He's 6'4", 215. Like, you start checking off some boxes, like from a pro scouting standpoint, like he's going to immediately check off the frame box. He hammers balls up to 108 EV and BP. Like, it may be even harder now. I can't wait to see it. He's been 94 from the outfield. So it's just like, there's going to be a lot of immediately tools that will be checked off for these pro scouts. And then it's going to be like, all right, how do they like the swing? How do they like the actions? Like, where can he profile defensively? Like, is it right field? Just super excited to have him. And I haven't even mentioned the pitching part to him yet either. Like, he's a low 90s guy with a big time slider. And I just think the sky's the limit for him. Really, really excited to have him. Really excited to give him this opportunity in front of the pro scouts because they need to see him. They need to be on, he needs to be on their radar. He's from Brimfield and he's committed to Illinois State. Caden Shotzik. Can't wait to have you on Tuesday night.